Hi guys, today we're going to make the sling bag from Retro Sparkle Designs. For this pattern I recommend woven cotton or fabric with a non-stretch and pretty lightweight. You are probably not going to want to do anything super heavy. So let's get into it. So we're going to go ahead and start with our pieces. The webbing is 1 inch wide. You're also going to need a tri-glide and a buckle piece, a male and a female piece. For our other pieces, we're going to need back pieces in a main and a lining. We're going to need 2 right sides of the bag pieces cut mirrored at a main and lining, left side main and a lining front, the zipper. 4 strap pieces, 2 pocket pieces, our buckle piece, our tri-glide, and 2 pieces of the webbing, a 6-inch piece and about a 30-inch piece. So to start, I'm going to take my trim piece, that is optional. I'm going to put it right sides up on that left side of my bag. And then I'm going to take my zipper and put it face down. So I've got my main piece facing up, my trim, and then my zipper face down, and then I'm going to take my lining left side piece and put it right sides down and sandwich everything together. Here I am just doing a little back stitch and then sewing all of those layers together. Just make sure it's lined up. You may have to lift your foot and zip your zipper so you can get past. A zipper foot will make this easier. I just couldn't find mine, so I used a regular foot here and it still worked out just fine. So we're going to sew all the way down to the end and backstitch at the end. This is what my piece will look like. I'm going to go ahead and take my liner and flip it over and then under. So we now have the right side of our bag. You can go ahead and top stitch your trim piece down or top stitch along that zipper side just to get everything to stay nice. Here I've top stitched along my trim, and now we're going to go ahead and work on the other side of our bag. That is what the back side looks like. So we've got our main and our liner. Now we're going to work on the right side of the bag. So I'm going to take my liner face up, and then I'm going to put my finished piece, left side piece, face up as well, and then my main piece right sides down. We're going to lining it up with that raw edge, the other side of that zipper, and we're going to go ahead and pin it all, clip it all, make sure everything is lined up, and then go ahead and sew all the way down. So this is what my front piece looks like now. We've got our main on one side with our zipper in the middle connecting the 2 halves. And then on the back side, you will see our liner pieces. I went ahead and top stitched along both edges along the zipper. Next, we're going to go ahead and work on our strap pieces. So first I'm going to take my female strap piece and my short webbing, and I'm going to go ahead and stick one end through and thread it through the bottom and then through the top back onto itself. Once I've got that little piece through, I'm going to fold it the edge under and then secure it to the strap piece itself with a straight stitch. Just go back and forth a few times to make sure it's secure. This is what that will look like. Now we're going to sandwich it between our strap pieces. So take those pieces and put them right sides together with your webbing kind of hanging out the top. And then go ahead and clip everything, and then we're going to take it to our sewing machine and sew along all the edges. So it's easier if you first go over the top piece. I just find it's easier to keep things secure. So I'm going to go over the top edge first. I go back and forth a few times to make sure it stays. And then I'm going to go ahead and sew down each side. You will leave that bottom open so that we can turn it right side out. Like so. Now we're going to go ahead and trim the top of the webbing off and kind of trim our edges. If you are using a serger, you won't need to trim. Then go ahead and turn it right side out. And that is what that piece will look like. And then I went ahead and top stitched along the edges just to make it look more finished. Next, we're going to work on our male buckle piece. So take one end of your webbing and thread it through, making a loop, like so. And then we're going to take our other end and thread it through our tri-glide, also making a loop, like so. Leave a long tail. And then take the tail from your male piece and thread it kind of inside. You can see inside the tri-glide underneath that top loop. And we're going to make a loop underneath the loop that we made. So we have it coming back through the tri-glide. And then we're going to go ahead and take that short piece that we threaded through the tri-glide, fold it under, and then go ahead and secure it to the piece that is not attached to anything. That's what that will look like. So you want to have about a 4-inch piece right there. And then we're going to go ahead and sandwich that between our two strap pieces again. So just like we did with our shorter webbing piece, we're going to take this webbing piece, put it between the two strap pieces, clip around, and then sew down the top edge and both sides. Next, you're going to want to clip the webbing, trim the corners, trim your seam allowances off. Just makes it look a little bit tidier. And then once you've got everything trimmed, you're going to turn it right side out, just like so. And then again, you can go ahead and top stitch along the sides and the top. That's what those two pieces will look like. Now we're ready to work on our pockets. So take your pocket pieces and put those right sides together, clip around the edges, and when you sew your pocket pieces together, you're going to leave a gap for turning. I like to leave the gap along the bottom of my pocket in the middle. I just find that that's easier. Once you've sewn that, you're going to go ahead and trim your corners and your seam allowance like so. It just makes your pocket look a little neater. You obviously won't need to do that if you used a serger. Then go ahead and flip your pocket right side out. I like to use like a little screwdriver or just something to kind of poke out the corner pieces so it looks more tidy. And then fold in those little pieces where you left that gap, because that will get sewn when we sew our pocket on. Now we're going to put our pocket on our liner back. You can use the positioning from the pattern, or you can just put it where you feel it looks best. I definitely recommend pins for this. It definitely just holds the pocket on more securely, so it's easier to stitch it on. And then once you have your pocket the way you want it, you're going to stitch along the side, the bottom, and the other side. Make sure to do a back stitch at each end. And of course the top will be open, so you have a nice little pocket. Now that we've got that complete, we're going to go ahead and attach our back liner to our front liner piece. So I just want to point out the top of the zipper. We are going to go ahead and stitch through the top of that zipper so that the edges are together. So you're going to unzip it just slightly, and I use a pin to make sure that the zipper stays together. And when you put your back to your front, you're going to make sure that you are only sewing the liner at this point. You will sew through the main and liner pieces at the very top points and the bottom points where the zipper is, and it should work out just fine. Make sure you leave a gap in your liner so that you can turn this later. So I left a gap. As you can see, I'm pushing my main piece out of the way when I get to the bottom, and then I'm sewing back up around. And this is what it will look like. There is a hole. I couldn't find it when I was filming this, but trust me, there is a hole in my liner. It's in there somewhere. And as you can see, we did not sew the main part of the bag except for at the bottom and the top where it overlaps just slightly. Still looking for my hole. Next, we're going to go ahead and put our strap pieces at the top and the bottom, lining up with the zipper. And I'm going to go ahead and just straight stitch those on so they are secure, so I don't have to worry about them shifting when I sew my back of the bag on. And then go ahead and tuck your straps through the zipper piece. So your zipper should be open. Tuck your straps inside just to get them a little bit more out of the way. Now that we've got that, we're going to take our back piece and put it on top of our front piece. Again, we will be sewing through all the layers at the top and at the bottom. Just make sure you are pushing your liner out of the way when you go around the sides like so. So here we go. I'm starting at the top and I'm going to start sewing all the way around my main. As you can see, I just keep checking to make sure that my liner is out of the way. Go ahead and sew around until you get to the bottom. Then again, you're going to be sewing through all the layers. So just kind of make it as even as you can. And then when you get to going back up the other side, you're going to make sure that everything is out of the way. My strap tried to come out through my liner, so I tucked it back in. This is sped up, but just go slow and be careful. Now this is what it will look like. So as you can see, I have my liner and my main. I'm going to go ahead and trim the edges, the zipper, and the strap pieces that were hanging out. And then I'm going to go ahead and turn the bag right side out. As you can see, I am pulling everything out through that hole we made in the liner. Now I'm going to take the edges and fold them in and under in my liner and top stitch them together. And then go ahead and tuck your liner into your bag and you are done. Everything should be closed and you are all done. You have now completed the sling bag. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I hope this was helpful. Be sure to subscribe to RSD YouTube channel for more videos and come sew along with us.